Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy. This is the CRKT Homefront 25th Anniversary, high-end edition with M390 steel and titanium construction. First off, though, in the name of full disclosure, I need to thank CRKT for sending this guy along. That's right, I reached out to them after Blade Show. I said, hey guys, that 25th Anniversary Homefront was really nice. Can I take a look at that? And they said, oh yeah, here you go. And so that's a beautiful thing, but nevertheless, I have to assume that this is the very best quality controlled one of these ever, and more importantly, that I'm doing my best not to let that affect the nature of my review here. So, but there you go, full disclosure. Next thing, size comparison. This is about the same size as a CRKT Homefront because, well, it is a CRKT Homefront. As far as I can tell, there aren't any differences in terms of size and whatnot with this. It's just, yeah. Here it is against the Spyderco Delica and the Ontario Rat number 2. You saw it against the Spyderco PM2 there a second ago, but there you go. And then, yeah, that'll do it for size comparison. Next thing, this is a knife that I have actually already reviewed. The Homefront design, generally speaking, has a review up already on the channel, and that's fine. But rather than recapitulate the whole damn review, I'm going to focus on what is improved in this 25th anniversary model and what's different. Well, what has changed, better or for worse, in this little model right here. And then finally, one thing to highlight, this is not a standard edge. I put this edge on afterwards using my KME sharpening system because, honestly, I like the knife and I wanted to have it a good edge. Spoiler alert. So anyways, there you go. Let's go ahead and talk about what's good about this little knife and what's not so good about this knife, and then I'll give a final conclusion. On the good side, they made a bunch of improvements here. I mean, a bunch of stuff. Not only is the steel better, it's M390 versus AUS 8, which is about as better as you get. The build quality on it is just better overall. It just feels like it's better made. There is no issues with it smacking the edge. There is no blade play when properly adjusted, and it has very, very nice texturing overall. This is just beautifully made. 100% this knife is well done. This little back area is nice. I just feel like this is a complete improvement in build quality. Next thing, the price on this guy. So the price on this is $300. Now, look, certainly it's a fair amount of money, and it's definitely higher than most things that CRKT puts out, but you know what? I'm okay with that. This is solid titanium. It's an innovative locking system. It's a beautiful M390 blade. This price is completely fine with me. The original was $100, and this is way more than 3 times better than that. I have no real objection to the price. Yeah, it's high. Yeah, it's going to be prohibitive for some people, but this price feels completely fine. I have no problem with it. Next thing, the detent on this guy is good to go. Absolutely 100% reliable flipper. Very, very good detent, dialed in beautifully. It is easy to overcome the Teflon washer action. That's a great thing. And so the detent is good to go. The steel, like I said, is much better. The construction overall is just good. You can see you've got this nice little blasted pivot collar here. You've got this nice, a little bit of, I mean, it's a solid little piece right here. In terms of construction, this was done very, very well. The manufacturer here did it justice, 100%. And finally, on the good side, this still has exactly the same, hold on. Got to do this in the right orientation. Exactly the same field strip technology. By the way, a note on the orientation. Remember that on most flipper knives, as you flip it, the knife is going to be pressing backwards this way. And so if they had this screw in the normal way of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, every time you tried to flip it, it would unlock. So they reverse threaded this screw, which is a little detail that I actually didn't notice in my first review of the Homefront, but I actually have come to appreciate very much because, well, they're thinking about it. So to disassemble this knife, you're going to see there's no disassembly for it because, watch, freaking done. This is a knife that disassembles without any tools at all. All that you need to do to disassemble this knife is loosen this screw in the back here and then flip this little lever on the front here. It's easy freaking peasy. And you know what? It works very, very well. It's very easy to take apart. It's very, very, very easy to take apart. And, it allows you to clean the guy up. If you get any gunk in it, you just walk over to a river, pop it apart, put it back together, there you go. It's good. It's absolutely freaking good to go. I like very much this whole affair, and I think the field strip system, especially now that it's been done frankly, just a little bit better in terms of tolerances and whatnot, it's a really great idea. And so you'll see in there, by the way, Teflon washes, and I'll go ahead and I'll talk about that for a second. I'm not a huge fan of Teflon washes generally. The one thing I have ever heard said that is positive about them is that there is no way to bend a Teflon washer, rendering it inoperable. In this knife, which is really designed to be taken apart in weird circumstances, I can almost see that actually being a pro. And we're back together, by the way. No play or anything like that. Just beautiful. But would I rather see nice, sinted in place phosphor bronze? Absolutely, 100%. But you know what? Okay, I can live with it. And with a detent this good, the action doesn't bother me. It's overcoming the Teflon action, no problem. And so, to me at least, that's what's good here, is that the field strip thing works very well, and it works even better now that it's been done a little bit better. The construction on the whole is excellent. It has a much better steel, good detent. Price is $300 and some solid improvements. On the bad side, there are still some issues with the design. It's still pocket pecking, although again, this is very nicely rounded off, so it's not a major issue. By the way, sorry about the jackasses with leaf blowers out there. I can't control that. It is definitely a little bit thick behind the edge. I cleaned it up a little bit and I changed the angle as I resharpened. But still, that's unfortunately that's a problem. Next thing, you have probably noticed and been hearing a little bit of lock stick. The out of the box raw, it doesn't show much of it, but when you put any oil on this lock face at all, you do start to get some stick. It's not terrible, but it's definitely something that's a problem, and I hope it's something they can work on in future versions of this guy. Any oil at all on the lock face there leads to some stickage, and that's not great. Next thing, on the bad side, I'd like to see a little less text on the blade. I mean, like this, okay, whatever, 25th anniversary, but is this like the opening to a Star Wars movie? Like, seriously. Or, I'm sorry, it goes the other way. Either way, it's a lot of freaking text on this blade. Sure, credit the designer, but you don't need the patent number on here. You don't need this. Guys, come on. Come on, people. Come on. Next thing, the washes on this guy. So I talked about the field strip technology. One thing that is different about this knife relative to the original Homefront there, the OS 8 edition, so to speak, is that, pop that loose, wrong direction. Someday I will understand that threading, but that day is not today. Come on. Wrong direction again. This little bit of Teflon washer here is not actually fixed to the blade. You can see that it's kind of inset to the blade a little bit, but it definitely, the first time I took this guy apart, popped out. This isn't the end of the world particularly, but the thing is, I definitely would prefer that these be fixed in place, because that's one less part, because if you lose this washer, the knife will actually have a problem there. Yeah, see, it pops out, and that wasn't, a particularly difficult thing to do. It sort of snaps in, but it's not necessarily it's not as strong a bind as it was in the original one. And so I definitely preferred having the Teflon washers, if you're going to do them, having them put into place somehow in a way that they cannot come loose, possibly. Because if you do take this guy down to the river and wish this around, then you need to make sure you take that washer off first, otherwise you could lose that, and then you are quite literally up a creek. So it's not something I'm particularly a fan of. I do like those captive washers, and I hope that they're able to, in the future, find a way to make that possible, even on the higher-end version. And then finally, on the bad side, the very, very worst, and by the way, phosphor bronze, please, just say it. Then finally, on the bad side, this is a limited edition. This bothers me deeply. This is 472 out of 500. Guys, CRKT, why? Why take the this is good. Don't kill it before it's even begun. Frick it. Show some mercy. Anyways, the limited editions always bug me, and this one especially, given that it's a damn good knife. Like, it should be a forever. Anyways, I'm just clinging to a future I wish were the case, but still, guys, come on. Limited editions are ugly, so to me, at least, that's the bad side, is that it is a limited edition, which means you probably won't be able to get one. The wash is a captive. It needs a little less text on the blade. Lock stick is an issue. It's a little thick behind the edge still, and it is still pocket pecking. On the final conclusion front, in my original review of the Homefront, I said something along these lines. I'm hoping there's a Homefront number 2 in the works, where they're either going to drop the price to reflect the build quality or raise the materials and fit and finish to reflect the price. I went on to say, I like the idea of this guy substantially, but I think you'd be better served by waiting for them to do the knife a little bit better. They did. Holy crap, did they ever do the Homefront better. This is exactly the kind of promise of these high-end remakes from CRKT. They've done a couple of them now. They did the Crossbones, which was a fine little knife, although it had some minor issues. Still the lock stick thing. But this is why CRKT needs to do these high-end remakes. I mean, seeing this in hand, it's like, oh my God, yes, because it took a design that I liked a lot and with some really good promise, but it was just undermade, and it made it something that is amazing. This is a great knife because it has all the design charm of the original. It's got the field strip thing, which is a cool idea. It's got the good ergos, but it's now been done really well. It's beautifully built with a great steel, good action construction that is worthy of this design. This feels in no way, shape, or form underdone or undermade. This is just exactly what this design deserves. This is a great design, and this has finally been given it. I mean, sure, it's got a couple of issues here. It's thick behind the edge. The lock is sticky. The washers are free and still Teflon. But worst of all, they made what is probably the best CRKT knife ever, a limited freaking edition. And I get the sense that they're still unsure whether or not limited editions are a good idea. Maybe they're whether or not this knife, the higher end stuff, is a good idea. They're limiting their losses. You only make 500 of them. Worst case, you're only hanging out to dry by 500. But guys, seriously, this is your best knife ever. This is the best thing that CRKT has ever made. This is a knife I would shout from the rooftops to recommend to people. And unfortunately, it's going to be hard for their fans to enjoy them. So I hope desperately, desperately, desperately that they make another version of this that is still titanium, still M390, lose the 25th thing. That was the limited edition right here. This sticker, that's your limited edition. And then make everything else identical. Just keep the, maybe without the lock stick, just saying. But just make everything else the same and make this a regular production run. That way somebody can go out, they can buy the OS8 version, they can realize, wow, I love this design, and then save up a little bit and get the model that makes it just everything it should have been. Well, I'm sorry, everything it should be at this kind of a higher end price point. Make enough for your fans to enjoy these, because this is a knife they will enjoy. So all told, and at some level, I'm a little bit surprised that I feel this way, but this is 100% a gem. It is a great design. It has been finally given the construction it deserves. I mean, yes, rock on. So CRKT, good job. This may be the best idea you have ever had. If you keep making budget knives to lure people in, then making those knives amazingly to win collectors' hearts, this is a beautiful thing, both for the brand and for the world in general. If you can take knives and make them better, just saying, Cricket, just saying. If you can take good knives, good designs, and make them better, make them to super high specs like this, oh man, does that offer a great compelling option for collectors as well as new enthusiasts. It's a siphon into the high-end knife-making world. It's so damn good. So Cricket, good job. Keep up the good work. And make sure that, oh man, you will have these knives waiting in front of many people's home. Get it? Because it's a home front? Okay, anyways, there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you. Make more of these and have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.